All right. Hello, friends, and welcome. You know, one of the things that sets First Baptist apart, we believe, is the fact that we love to be relational. We are so thankful for technology that helps us to be able to talk over the phone and share through Facebook and Instagram and keep connected with YouTube and emails and our website. But there is nothing like seeing one another face to face as we hear our voices to bridge that gap between feeling connected and not. So we want to say welcome today to our first episode of Staff Chat. We are going to have some fun with these over the weeks, but today you're going to hear our staff ministers share what's been going on in their area, and they are so excited to share with you how you can get involved and how you can invite others to be a part of our family of faith. We're really glad you're here. I'm going to start off with Jane. Jane, will you tell us what's been going on with adult discipleship and spiritual formation?
Hey guys, I just can't tell you how much I miss seeing all of you. I don't know if when you get the eConnect, if you scroll all the way down, but to see those great video shots of Zoom calls from whether it's children's groups or youth small groups or some of our Sunday school classes, but I just love seeing all those faces there, and had a chance to been having a chance to join in on a couple of Sunday school classes over the last couple of weeks, and I just have to tell you how much it blesses my soul to listen in on you as you care for one another. Some people are struggling, and some people are walking beside them and just doing life together, and just the way you bring it all around to your faith and are figuring out deeper ways to live through this interesting time. And so I'm just grateful for you and all the ways that you inspire me. One of the things, that in adult discipleship in particular, it would be an understatement to say that COVID-19 has upset the rhythm of daily life. I think that's a given, but, some of the parts of that rhythm weren't really all that healthy for us. And hurry and busyness have always been two of the biggest challenges to our life with God, and making it difficult for us to slow down enough to pay attention or to rest or to listen or to discern. And so we have an opportunity to reset a new rhythm in these days. So I hope that you have found the daily prayer prompts, whether you see them on your text messages or on Facebook, that you have seen the soul care simple practices on Facebook or pause on our website. These are all ways to just help to get our attention and to allow us to just rest in God, and to help God be the one who is really shaping us and leading us through these days and always. So I just want to challenge you to find one practice and just give yourself to it, and see what God wants to do in these coming days. But let me know how I can help you with that, and know that your staff is praying for you. Now, Becca wants to share with us what's happening in children's ministry.
So I am missing all of our kids, just like Jane said, but we are really excited about our brand new camp that has just been announced this week. So if you haven't heard yet, we are not going to be able to have Camp Jonah and Camp Creation the way that we have always had them. It just wouldn't be the safest or wisest decision at this time. So we're going to be having We Are Family at Home Camp. And so we're going to be resourcing all of our families with all the supplies and materials that they need to be able to have so many of the fun elements of camp at home. And so I'm really excited about the way these plans are shaping up. And so right now, if you have kids, or you have neighbors or grandkids or kids in your neighborhood that you could invite, now is the time to do that. We would love to have them sign up. There is no charge for this camp, and we just need to know they want to participate so that we can prepare for them. So you can do that through our website. And I'm just really excited about the way that, even though it's not what we first planned, I'm excited about how this is going to roll out. We are also having some really fun Zoom calls each week with our kids. We meet every Wednesday and every Sunday. And this Sunday, we are doing a Mother's Day special. It's going to be kind of like the Newlywed Game, except with moms and kids. And so I can't wait to see all of our moms and kids together as we celebrate them. But every week has a fun theme. And so I just hope that all of our kids will be a part. I'm going to pass it over to Gavin.
Hey everybody, we've been chugging along with student ministry, trying to get everybody together for hangouts. We've been having weekly hangouts with each age group and gender based off of middle school or high school, girls and boys, trying to just give them an opportunity to be in community together and goof off together, laugh together, have a lot of fun. it's been something we've been trying to do because we found that creating that sense of community and allowing a space for kids to just be kids has been refreshing to those who are a little frustrated by having to do school online and not being able to see their friends on a regular basis. I've also been meeting on Sunday nights with a virtual youth group, and we've been having small groups break out and having discussions about some awesome things and giving opportunities to play some big group games and have some fun together, as also studying the Bible. We've also been encouraging our small group leaders to continue to meet and to continue to keep up with their folks. And one of the coolest things that's happened recently with that is we had a small group of girls meet in a parking lot, and they spread out their cars more than 6 feet apart, and they sat outside the trunks of their cars and chairs and talked, keeping social distancing. And they were able to catch up with each other in person, but in a safe way that made it possible for them to keep social distancing and also see each other. So it was really cool to see that. And given that we've had to cancel and reschedule and move around so many things in our lives personally, that has been a real thing for some of our seniors, actually all of our seniors. And so one of the big things we're playing right now is of figuring out a way to celebrate and honor our graduates this year in a way that our church, you guys, can take part. So be on the lookout for, in the coming days, we're going to find ways that you as a church can celebrate our graduates together in some way, shape, or fashion that still respects the fact that we have to keep distance. So that's my big update, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kimbrough for his.
Hey there, folks. John Kimbrough here. Just wanted to fill you in a little bit on some of the things that we've been doing for worship during this time. Hopefully you've been paying attention to the things that we've been putting out online, such as the worship services that Gavin and I have been working really hard to get filmed and produced for you. And more specifically in my area, I hope that you've been able to use the music videos that we've been recording and producing to worship at home with your families. Some of the things we've been doing as a worship team have been meeting on Wednesday nights, having a regularly scheduled Zoom call. We started working through a book before all of this happened called Sing, which is written by Keith and Kristen Getty. I've got my copy of it right here. And we actually have a few extra copies of this book at the church. If you're stuck at home and you're looking for something new to read and you're interested in the topic of why do we sing as a church? Why is it important that we sing together? And how can we be doing that with our families at home? I encourage you to reach out to me and I will get you a copy of this book. Whether I mail it or drop it by your house or whatever it may be, if you're interested in this book, I highly encourage you to read it. Now I'm going to pass it over to Stephen so that he can fill you in his area. Stephen?
Yeah, thanks, John. So it's been really great to meet with the choir every Thursday night. We've been having Zoom calls, mostly as a check-in. And for a while there, we were trying to figure out ways that we could sing, and we would often try to sing over Zoom, and then things would be a little discombobulated. But actually last week, we tried singing something together using a YouTube video to kind of sync us all up, and it worked really well. So I'm excited to do that with the choir a lot more. Another big project that I've been working on is it's called Hymns of Comfort. And this is actually came about because I was at the church a little over a month ago, and I heard Bradford Olson, our organist, practicing. And so I thought, wow, he doesn't know when he's going to be back in the sanctuary, but he is still in the sanctuary practicing organ, practicing piano. And so I decided to go and record that. And over the weeks, we've continued to record that every single week. And I'm really excited for those videos that you're going to see. Another personal thing is many of you have asked me about graduation. And yes, this was my final semester. I did finish all of my coursework, and I kind of feel like I'm graduated, but I don't know when graduation is actually going to happen. So I really appreciate all your encouragement. That graduation ceremony has been indefinitely postponed, but I took some graduation photos this past Friday just to mark the occasion, and we'll see what happens in the future. But thank you so much for your encouragement on that. Now to pass it over to Don to give an update in his area.
Hey, Our Tuesday night feeding the homeless is still going strong. We've been feeding men and women and some children every Tuesday night for well over 15 years. And we've been doing a little bit different. We've been relying on the local restaurants to provide us food and cook it for us. PT Grill's cooked 150 hamburgers for us in Chris' restaurant. It's given us food, and Moe's Southwest Grill is giving food. And then about once a month, our First Baptist members have been given 10 styrofoam plates, and they've been filling them up with their favorite dishes and then bringing them downtown. And in fact, instead of staying the same, we have been feeding more people during this time than we did before. We've been feeding over 190 folks every Tuesday night. Tonight, Blue Surf Cafe is cooking for us, and we'll be using real small teams of 2 and 3 to just put the dishes out on the plates, out on the table, and folks will come by and grab them a Mountain Dew and a plate and a bag and some dessert and go and eat it on their own. So the people really, really appreciate how much we are doing that. And next week, May the 12th, we need our First Baptist members to cook again. So if you would be willing to prepare 10 meals, you can stop by and pick up some plates from Gary Harris. He actually gives out food with the school system every day from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock over behind New Hanover High School on Princess Street. You can go by there and he'll give you 10 or 11 of the styrofoam plates, and then you have the rest of this week to fill them up and bring them by next Tuesday night, May the 12th, at around 5:30 to 6:30, 6:15, and then we'll take them out to the place. But we've been serving about 100 downtown. We've been taking about 60 plates down to around Greenfield Lake. And then Phil Sutton and a bunch of other folks have been taking some out to some families from Murray Middle School. So missions is alive and well. We appreciate so much the support of our church and your prayers and all the stuff that you do. Just show that you love God and love other people. Thanks. And next is John Daniels. Hit it, John.
Hey, it's certainly great to be with each of you today. It seems like everywhere that I go, someone will normally ask me, how's the church doing financially? And normally I get to say, we're doing really good. And I want to thank you so much for your generosity. The faithfulness of your giving has just amazed me. So many of you continue to mail in your checks and your tithes to the church, and we couldn't make it without you. And we thank you so very much. Also, we've seen during this crisis that our online giving, which is normally a very small percentage, about 10% of total gifts, has moved up to 30%. And that's really good because usually online giving is a more stable platform for giving and it's easier to participate in. So we thank you so much for doing that. Many of you have seen on your local news the PPP program provided by the Small Business Administration. I have some good news. Our church has decided to participate in that program, and we have already received our funds in the participation part of that plan. So it's going to really help us right now as we continue to go through these difficult times as a church financially. But your support has truly been amazing, and I just can't thank you enough for that. Also want to let you know that there's lots of activity going on down at the church right now. We've done some remodeling in Sidbury, particularly the steps and the handrails. We're doing projects up on the 3rd floor with new flooring and carpeting and paint. So lots of great things are happening downtown. Again, look forward to the day when we can be together. But thank you so much for your faithfulness as a congregation. Jim Baldwin, what do you have to say to us?
Hey, everyone. I've been having a great time writing my hunkered down homilies. It's reflections on what's going on in this time of life here at First Baptist and in our area. Been sending out to all of our senior adults, but hopefully if you're interested, we can make sure that you get that too if you're not. And I really am loving the responses from those people who have talked about what's going on in their life during this time. One response I got today from one of our senior adults, she said that she just realized that her empty calendar just pointed out how much room she has to communicate more with God. And so I'm really thankful for those kinds of thoughts that people are sharing. I'm also having a great time talking to our senior adults. I normally call them the in crowd, but kind of we're all the in crowd now. That since we are sheltered in place and just been trying to keep up with folks on the telephone. I've got a group of encouragers that are doing that also and doing an awesome job and building some really great relationships with new friends during this time, making sure that everyone is cared for and needs are being met. Another thing that's not particularly related to senior adult ministry, but I've been a part of a prayer group for about 9 months now that normally meets downtown on Wednesday at 5. Of course, since we're not able to do that, we've been meeting by Zoom Wednesday evenings at 5:30. And then we just get together and pray for the church and pray for needs in our community and all over the world. If you're interested in being a part of that group, contact me or Bo Birch, and we'll make sure you get an invitation to be a part of that next Zoom prayer meeting, which will be tomorrow night at 5:30. So thanks again for all your encouraging words. Thanks for the ways you're staying connected with each other. Jim, let us know what's going on with you.
Hello, friends. I miss you. Virtual hug for the whole bunch. You know, I'm a hugger, and so we need to get together and hug again, and we look forward to being able to do that soon. When I write letters, I often sign them at the end with the word hopeful, and that closing it started about 10 years ago, I guess. It was in the midst of a time when my mother was really, really sick and not doing so well, and I was given one of these little bracelets. Let's see if we can get it where you can see it. There we go, and it says hope. So I started wearing these bracelets. Well, you can see they're elastic, and over the 4.5 years that my mother was sick, I went through a number of those. I bought a half dozen of them originally, and they all broke. So my mother passed away 9 years ago, and I stopped wearing them, not because I stopped being hopeful, but because I had run out of them. Guess what? 2 weeks into the pandemic, I'm weed eating, edging my front sidewalk at my house. Guess what I found in the front yard as I was using that weed eater? 9 years later, this bracelet is there. Hope. Well, I don't know where it came from. I'm assuming that it fell out of a pocket or something at somewhere. I can't tell you how many times my yard has been cut and how many times I have edged along that sidewalk since then. But I went to wearing my bracelet again, and I believe that was a message from God. Sometimes I call those God winks. Sometimes I call them Emmaus moments where Jesus shows up. So I hope that you are feeling that unwavering hope within your heart and in our congregation as a whole. I get reminded of it every day when our deacons touch base with me and when members of our congregation inform me of how their deacon is making a difference in their lives. We have deacons that are doing yard work for folks. We have deacons that are visiting people virtually, and some that sit in the driveway and visit. And recently I got a number of cards from a number of deacons in the church because they heard that our family has expanded. So we have a new little grandbaby, Lisa and I do. Lisa has held him. I have not done that yet because I've been around a few people, been in close proximity to people. I continue wearing my masks, but we've not held little Brooks Philip Everett yet. But he's doing well at his house. Things are going great. Mom and Dad are doing great. And it reminds me that in the midst of all that's going on, there's new life, there's new beginning, there's new hope. And I look forward to the wonderful things that God has planned for our church as a whole and for our family. I look at that tiny little baby and I think of when I'm out there doing that edging, how these little sprouts just kind of pop up sometimes in little gaps, little cracks in sidewalks. There's new life. There's new things that are going on that we can't see yet, but they're going to spring forth and it's going to be wonderful. So it is great that we can connect this way. I look forward to us being able to hug one another again. It might be a long time, even when we get back to meeting together. Some people want to keep their distance, and I'll be one of them as well. But we will be able to see one another, and behind our mask, we'll be able to smile, and we'll see the sparkle in our eyes, and we will thank God that God's continuing to work in our hearts and in the midst of our church. And because our church is a guiding light for our community, God's very much alive across and around Wilmington. Now I'm going to go back to Miss Jeannie, wherever she is on the screen, and you can wrap us up.
Wow, y'all, that was great. I loved hearing what everybody was doing in their ministry areas and what's new, just as I talked to you about a few days ago. You know, I started off by telling you a few things of our communication, and I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of the ways that you can keep connected with what's happening at First Baptist Church. You know, the main thing you want to remember is to go to our website, fbcwilmington.org. That's our website. If you go there and you go under events or news or any of the ministry areas, you can find what you're looking for. Also, make sure if you are on Facebook, engage with us on Facebook, like our Facebook page. We've recently started something new called a First Baptist FBC Facebook group. And that's just, it's like inviting you into the living room where we can have a little bit deeper conversations where you can share and we can share how God is working through this pandemic in our lives. So we want you to be a part of that. If you haven't seen it, go look for it on our First Baptist page, and we can't wait to welcome you into the Facebook group. You know, I heard in a podcast yesterday, it asked the question, is your church simply surviving or is your church thriving through this crisis? And I couldn't help but think how I believe so much that First Baptist Church is thriving. Sure, we're doing it differently, and sure, it feels uncomfortable in times, but in other times it feels really rich. And so I want to just say how much our staff loves you, and we cannot wait to the time where we can hug one another and give these kind of communications face to face. But until we get to do that, we are thankful that we have this opportunity. So I want to invite you in a couple weeks. We're going to be back, and we'll have a little less news and some more fun. Let's just say that we're going to do a little show and tell and do some question and answering with our staff. And it's going to be a fun time, and we hope that you'll participate with us then. We love you. We miss you. Everybody say bye. And it's so good. We can't wait to see you in person.